Well, that's so interesting because so research shows that women are actually more sexually satisfied with men who don't watch porn or don't watch a lot of porn.
That's totally logic.
It makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. You don't watch porn, then you are focused on the real things.
Because you focus on humans.
Because your brain is not compromised by those fake fucking image and video and situation and scenarios and blah blah blah. Welcome back, fam, to Relate Right.
I'm Elle.
And I'm Fab.
And here at Relate Right, we are all about relationships and helping you connect better with each other. And today we are going to talk about porn and how it impacts relationships. But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button. Your support would mean a lot to us. %25 of all searches are related to porn on the internet. Mm-hmm. It's actually the fourth reason why people search the internet in general.
Yeah, 90% of 12 years old are watching porn as well.
That's actually crazy.
So it is crazy.
Because before the videos, there was magazines. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even though there was like these yucky magazines and kids would, get a hold of them and watch them, it's not the same impact. Because like now it's so readily available. Like you could just hop on Google, just hop on your phone.
Yeah.
And you could put as many, restrictions for your kids as possible. But they always find a way to find it.
I mean, the magazine is way different, but it's just the beginning. It's like you have a little taste. The same way when you start to smoke, you just take a puff.
Yeah, but
the magazine is the puff, just the puff, without the packaging and everything.
No, I get that. I get that, but I feel like with magazines, it's like they're just there was limitations. It's not like you were 12 years old, you could just go get a smart magazine anywhere. You know what I mean? And it's like there's limitations of what you're going to see, what kind of content you're going to see.
It's because you have to buy it physically. Or you have to know someone who buy it physically. So for sure, the access will be limited. Like you say, it's limited.
Yeah.
Of course. Compared to a 12 years old or even a 6 years old or 8 years old now in this day and age who have their tablet phone. And they can just watch it everywhere.
And that's the sad part. Like, these children are exposed to all of these things they don't understand so early on.
Yeah.
And it's literally teaching them how to, I guess, have, or what is sex. It's teaching them what is sex.
It's teaching them what is sex by the wrong way. It's the same one like you start to learn how to drive,
right?
But you start by a race,
right.
You never drive, but you start to do a race,
right?
So it's the same things with porn. Like when we start to watch porn, at the same time, you watch it with your friends sometimes.
That's also fucking weird.
Yeah, but when you are a child, you on the video and you show that to your friends or something like that. It's not directly as you're not watching as you're watching it when you are adult. It's different.
Okay.
So it's a new thing. It's an exploration. You start to learn. You start to see. It's the same process for everything. Your brain start to and you share with your friends who also discover. The porn maybe at the same time or before you.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. When we start to learn the wrong way to do sex, to have sex, to feel what is sex, to understand how it works, to understand the woman as well, to how to view women as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, porn definitely objectifies women.
Yeah. For sure.
And if you're accessing it at such a young age, you're just going to start to formulate all these thoughts about what women like, what they don't like, how women are, how they should be treated. When you're a child, you can't really distinguish real life from fantasy.
Yeah. And and on top of it, even more when you have parents who try to hide the sex part of your life, who
Yeah.
try to hide everything about sex when you're already watching porn, but they don't even know.
Yeah, but you see, in a lot of cultures, sex education is shameful.
Yes.
I mean, maybe it's a little bit more promoted for young boys to have the conversation about sex, but not necessarily for girls. It's like very shameful. If there's sex scenes on TV, you speed them up or you pass over them. You
Yeah.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
There's very different rules for girls and boys when it comes to sex talks. And it's a good point that you bring up, because even if you do have parents who are going to bring up the sex talk with you as a child, they're not going to talk about the affection part of sex.
Yes.
They might say, oh, two people have to be in love to have sex, or two people have to be married to have sex. And that's probably as far as it goes.
It's another fake information as well, because that's not how it works. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's
That's
exactly
not how it
right.
works, and that's not how it is
No,
in this world. You know,
right.
it's the same. I mean, so much information that we are teaching to our child based on utopia.
That's it. Well, yeah, that's right. Because we are teaching our children how it should be
Yeah, but not how
and
it is.
not how it
How it
is.
is.
Right.
You can teach them how it should be, but by telling them how it is now, and like that,
You're closing that
you
gap.
closing that gap. You give them value, but you
Mm-hmm.
teach them as well how the real world is, but still by giving them as well the taste of how it should be, like you said, because it's very important.
Yes.
It's very important because even if you know how it is as a child,
Yeah.
you will be able to have your own value and make your decision based on what you learn from your parents and what they incorporate in you. So you will view, for example, me, if I have a son and I teach him that a woman is so important and
Right.
divine, even if I teach him as well how the world works now, he gonna respect women because that's
That's
what
right.
I teach him. Whatever he's seen on whatever on social media, based on my education, he gonna understand there will be some things here that's gonna stop him to be.
Well, yeah, it's what's going to be there is you will have closed the gap for assumption.
Yeah.
And that's the part when we don't give holistic information to children. It's not always our fault, but if you
No, no.
don't give information to children from all, I guess, viewpoints,
Yeah.
you leave a lot of room for interpretation. You leave a lot of room for assumption. You leave a lot of room for external influences.
Yeah.
And so if you try to attack an issue from different angles like that, your kid will more likely lean towards what you've said rather than being, you know, influenced by others or by things like a porn video, and that's the thing, because when you watch porn, especially as a young boy,
Yeah.
you're gonna see a lot of situations where women are being humiliated, where they're being subservient,
Yeah.
abused even. Everything is kind of, the woman is on the bottom. It's all about the man's pleasure.
It's yeah, but yeah, I'm agree with you. But we all the time talk about boys watching porn,
Right.
but the girl or the woman who's watching porn, for them it's even heavier because when as you said before, when you watch a porn video, it's always about the pleasure of the man. It's always the woman who's extremely submissive, even more than submissive, slave.
Yeah, yeah.
In certain videos, and so when women watch it, we talk about men, but when girl, I say woman, but when girl watch it, if we talk about child, Imagine what they're gonna think. They have how they have to behave or how they have to be to please a man,
Right.
to uh, to meet the expectation of a man, you know, to be good at sex, but to be good mean to be submissive, to be an object, to be a to be something like that, like the video,
Yeah, and
you know.
also to add to that, I don't know if this is just a porn thing or just the way women are educated in general.
Yeah, also.
Women have to continuously, I guess, pretend that they're enjoying sex,
Yeah,
not to hurt the man's feelings.
yeah,
Whereas men will very freely tell you when they're not into something or when they want more. A woman can't say that she wants more because then she's judged and looked at in a negative light. She also can't let the guy know what she likes or what she doesn't like. She
yeah,
just has to sit there and pretend to like it
yeah,
to stroke his ego. And that's what happens in these porn videos as well. There's these excessive displays of fake pleasure. And they come a lot of the time from sex that's aggressive. And in
yeah.
reality, women don't.
I mean, that's the thing as well. I'm okay with you with
Yeah.
what you was going to say. Women don't like, especially aggressiveness.
They do in limits. It's all about limits. But I don't think porn has limits, and that's the thing.
But the same way porn have shaped the mindset of a man
Right.
about this aggressiveness in sex and choke and everything, and we're going
Yeah.
to talk about it as well. But it's the same way women are asking for it because they think they like it, because they are also shaped by those videos.
Yeah, of
Also,
course. Of course.
and
Of
that's why as
course.
well I hear a lot of men, and I was one of them before before I changed who I was from who I was before, and you'll hear like you're gonna say that, but that's what they like, you know, being choked, hair pulling, and things like that. That's what they like. That's what they ask. You know, that's why we say to justify as well that we do that. You know, and the woman as well are gonna feel like a lot of women gonna tell me, but I like it, or some women won't say it, you know, but a lot of women gonna say, oh, but I like it. Are you sure you like it, or is it from yourself, or it's because you know that that's what men like?
Right.
You know, so the same way there is a misunderstanding, but we do it unconsciously. The same way we are consumer to buy junk food
Yeah.
is the same way when you are a consumer of porn, you do certain things that you think that
That
you
you
do it
like.
that you like,
Yeah.
and you do it by yourself or your own.
I mean, you
You
would
know,
you would grow to like it though, because
you yeah yeah
if that's a trend that you're
yeah
experiencing, you would grow to like it. I mean, we're humans, right? We
yeah
adapt to anything or every situation.
yeah
So
yeah
I think a lot of the times women do think they enjoy it, and maybe they do. And the thing is, like, between consenting as adults who have limits and who understand reality from fantasy and who are emotionally intelligent, yeah, sure, you could explore those type of things.
yeah
But I don't think a lot of people have that level of self-regulation.
yeah
And so it could go left real fast and go badly, and especially like in porn, because porn really only focuses on penetration.
yeah
It's not focusing on lovemaking. It's not
of course
focusing on sensuality. It's not even focusing on a caress or a touch
yeah
or
yeah
the human connection at all. Because in porn, when they're filming the video, the videographers and the producers actually don't want that. They
yeah
actually don't want you touching because it blocks the view or the footage of the penetration,
yeah.
which is what arouses men the most.
Now you talk about movies,
Right.
and there is an evolution of porn as well. So
Yeah.
there is categories for everything. There
Right.
is video look like it's you and me
Right.
who just met as well. There is video who look like homemade video, you know. There is so many categories. So when I watch film porn for the first time,
Yeah.
I still remember it the first time.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, the thing which shocked me is the way a woman was, like you said, was screaming, you know. So when I had my first sexual experience, I was a bit shocked that the girl wasn't screaming like that, and I was like, but that's not how it is in the video, you know. And I judge a lot of different moments of my sexual experience by the video that I've seen before, because we watch porn before to even have real sex.
That's actually crazy that you said that, because I'm just like, as you're saying that, I'm just thinking how many boys would feel exactly the same way when they have intercourse for the first time and the girl doesn't respond in a way that they expect.
Yeah.
They would be impatient. They might get angry. They might get frustrated. Like, this is people who don't have, like I said, the self-regulation or the emotional intelligence to realize they're dealing with a human being.
Yeah.
It could actually cause a lot of misunderstanding and even like promote more aggressive behavior, because he's like, oh, wait, well, she's not responding, so maybe I have to act differently.
Who teach to their child, boy or girls, that the sex is divine? Who teach actually now? And not in a religious way, like, oh, you need to wait until blah, 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 blah. No. But how divine it is, you know? And don't put, even the man should be there or the woman should be there. No, but the connection between those two is divine. So when I was talking about that, and you say that our men will be angry by the reaction, and the reaction is not like what they've seen before. Imagine when a girl is virgin.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You see how normalized
Right.
having a virgin woman for the first time, for example, for a man, it's become normal. It's just, even like, I was the first one, you know. But it's not like I'm proud that I was the first one. You know what I mean?
That's what it should be.
You know, and they are not, and it's not like that anymore. And even before, even on my time already, and I'm already 33 years old, you know.
Yeah.
So even on my time, it was already like that, you know. And even for the girl now, they don't prioritize as well their virginity.
Yeah.
They don't value this, you know.
Yeah.
And
Because it's looked down upon to be preserving yourself. It's not cool.
yeah,
It's not part of the culture.
Yeah.
And so we live in a really sexualized culture. Everything is about sex.
everything's
Music is about sex. Fashion is about sex.
everything's.
TV shows, like whatever it is, it's all sexualized.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sex is not valuable. And if you're a virgin, you're a weirdo.
Yep.
You're a weirdo, and sometimes even, you know, it's connected to being less attractive. And it's actually really crazy because even with virginity, there are still men who want a virgin, right? It's just not valued. However, when they do get one, they also don't understand that women don't actually enjoy sex for the first time. And so it's quite strange because it's actually quite a painful process for the woman.
For men too, at the first time.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the thing
I didn't
as
know
well.
that.
That's the
I
thing
didn't
as
see. I didn't even know that. But for a woman, it's quite a painful process. So it has to be something gentle
Yeah.
and something sensual, or, you know, it really does have to be slow and something you take care of.
Yeah.
And so the fact that a lot of porn categories have things like crying or a woman in distress as an arousal is so interesting, because again, it's kind of like it's teaching men and boys to be aroused and turned on by a woman's pain. And it's not just about women pretending to enjoy it, but it's also like literally being aroused by a woman's pain and uncomfortability and sadness, crying, which is, it's mind blowing because it can really, really impact both parties that are in that situation.
It's not even it can, it will. It
Right.
will impact. But you know the thing that you said about watching the woman in a disturbing position emotionally and physically. Physically, when you watch porn, you get aroused by those moments.
Yeah.
So the more porn you watch and the more aggressive porn you need to be aroused, and the more complex scenes you need
Right.
to see to be aroused, and the more men you need to see on top of a woman to be aroused. So you know it's just going like that, you know, and you're gonna need more to get aroused, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a circle, and doesn't mean like when you watch this that when you're gonna go out and you're gonna be a super pervert, you know, and do some things to a woman, you know. It
Right.
doesn't mean that
No,
like that
of course
because
not.
in
Yeah.
generally you're even ashamed
Right.
to watch those things,
Yeah.
so you don't talk about it,
Okay.
you know.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was about to be real judgmental for a second, but no, let's move on to this is a great conversation. But how does this impact relationships? Like, how does a person who's watched porn, I'm not talking about addiction, I'm talking about porn
Porn, yeah.
in relationships, and how does that make a difference?
I mean, it can kill your relationship, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because you know, you already know if you're watching porn, you know, and you need because when we all watch different type of porn, we all have different preferences, you know. So when you watch what you like, and your woman doesn't do the same as what you're watching to get aroused,
Right.
then you can be lost in the digital
Yeah.
life or the
Yeah.
digital or all the or you can lose in all those videos and all those type of porn that you're watching. And when it's time to do a physical interaction with your partner, as she's not like the girl that you're watching, she's not doing what you're watching, then it's gonna be harder for you to find pleasure, you know, because
Yeah.
because you get aroused by those type of video. I don't know what you're watching, you know, but you know, and also the same for the girl. Is the same for the girl as well. She will want certain thing. She will see that you don't respond to it. You know, she will do some things to you, but there will be no effect. You know,
Yeah.
you don't communicate because you're ashamed as well on what you're watching on the on this website. You know,
Right.
so it can be a cycle, and I don't say women as well. Some women as well watching porn,
Yeah, of
and it's the
course.
same as well. They get
Yeah, yeah,
addicted
yeah.
and they do certain things that. But it generally, that's the problem as well. Women, women in the porn, and we say that are the one who need to be submissive, extremely submissive, and please the man to be a good woman, to be a good partner. You know what
Right.
I
To
mean?
be a good
So in
sexual partner.
generally, a woman who gonna watch porn, I'm
Right.
sure is gonna be okay for the man more than the contrary.
I
That's
don't
what I
know.
feel.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. I do to an extent. I do to an extent in the sense that yeah, she's gonna be if she is taking the route of a submissive woman, yes, she will be pretending and putting up with things she doesn't like and,
Yeah,
faking orgasms
yeah,
for you to finish early because she's
yeah,
not enjoying it. Faking scenarios, talking to you in your ear so you can finish and get off her.
yeah.
Absolutely. Women do that all the time, right? And that's not a beautiful sexual connection.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't add to a relationship at all. The other part, though, is that I think even men are sexualized in porn. And so some women who are sexually liberated and think and believe they do deserve to be sexually satisfied, as they do, they can start to believe that all men should have large penises in order to sexually please them. And that they would have to behave in a specific manner in order to please them. And so I think what happens is those type of women, they're going to feel like if their partner doesn't have a big penis, that he's not able to please her, that she will never be satisfied.
That's because of the porn.
Right.
That's because of the videos.
That's what I'm saying. And in your relationship, that can be a real problem because the man is over here, you know, he's being taught to make war in the bedroom and not love, right? And he's not using his other senses to please the woman, like kissing, sensual touching, affection, you know, just other things that are more considered sensual or passionate or romantic. He's not using those skills to give her like a dynamic experience. But because he's just focusing on the sex and the penetration, that means she's also just focusing on that. And she's saying, well, you're not doing a good job because you don't have the tools for it.
Exactly. But you know, it's this, it's the same for the girl. As we are watching this since we are young, we are all conditioned about how we should like sex.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so like we said, the woman will be focused on the size,
yes,
the power,
yes,
the way she feel him even after,
for sure,
or not, you know. And they're gonna talk to between their friend. They say, "Oh, it was too soft."
Absolutely.
Etc. You know?
Yeah.
I don't say that it's like that for all the girls. Some girls are
of
looking
course.
also for the things around it as well. You know?
I think most are.
Most are.
They just don't know it.
Most are. Because when you find a man who do other type of things than the other man that you already dealing with, then you're like, oh, this is so different.
Yeah.
But he wasn't more aggressive or more thing. He was even less maybe, but around the touch, the way he's carrying you, the way he's taking care of you.
Even like kissing or just like things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the way he's asking if you're done.
Yeah. Making sure that you're also enjoying yourself.
It's not, you know.
It's a very different experience when the man shows you they're interested in pleasing you rather than you just being the object of pleasure.
Exactly. But so much women are used to be the object of pleasure, like you said, that they rather see the man enjoy, and then maybe
finish themselves. Yeah. For sure. Because, you know, I think, again, women are ashamed to ask for fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be associated. Some of them associate pornography with, you know, promiscuity.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be associated with that either.
Yes.
So it's like it's quite complex because you have pornography and then the definition of masculinity and femininity and what men are allowed to feel and do and then what women are allowed to feel and do. And it's like, it's just really difficult because we don't also talk about it freely because we're afraid of what the other person's going to think.
Who motherfucking care?
Yeah, but
that's
like,
the thing.
When you're
just say that like that.
I know.
I just say that like that. Yeah, we don't fucking care. It's time for us to. It's time for us to feel and express what we need and listen our body. It's time for us to stop feeling stressed to ask what we want and what we need.
It's true, and the thing is, I think. Well, I know that deep down, both men and women are really craving intimacy. which is
Yes.
like deeper than sex, right? So sex is cool. It's an expression of, well, it's supposed to be an expression of love,
Yes.
right? But now it's probably a lot less than love. It's just it's just a expression of, I guess, arousal or whatever you want to call it, or like a animalistic act. You know what I mean? Like a very
Even animals. Even animals doing better than us because at least they do it to procreate.
yeah. Well,
They do it
yeah,
to
yeah,
procreate.
yeah.
If they don't have to procreate, there is a really
A
small,
few, yeah.
small numbers of animals who just do it for fun.
Right,
You know,
right.
very generally when they do it, at the end there's procreation.
There's a result. Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
result. So even them, they respect the divinity of sex.
Right.
You know,
Right. It's
so
instinctual.
yes,
And yeah, I think, yeah, look,
you know what I mean.
different people have different levels of what they need and how they need it.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's a good point. When also how you say how porn shape our relationship. When we think that we need to have sex 2 time by day, 3 time by day,
Right.
otherwise it's not a good relationship.
Right.
We learned that now, and we talked about that before in previous podcast. If your relationship is mainly built on sex,
Right.
you're not gonna last because during your lifetime there will be moments when you're tired. There will be moments or you're physically unavailable.
Right.
There will
Yeah.
be moments or you don't want. There will be moments or you have so much other problem that
Right.
the sex is not your priority.
Yeah.
And on top of it, be intimate doesn't mean that you need to have sex. You need to have penetration.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's fake ideas of how should be your physical interaction with your partner. That's how as well porn can affect your relationship
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of women don't want a man that watches a lot of porn. You know, a lot of people that I know, they actually see that as something that's a real negative. And most women would prefer that their man doesn't watch porn.
Yes.
Because regardless if it's something that's not necessarily tangible, it still hurts the woman's feelings that he has to look elsewhere for that sort of arousal. Now, whether it has something to do with his woman or not is besides the point.
Yeah.
That's just how women are, you
Yeah.
know? So my question to you is, do men want their women to watch porn? And second part to that is, if yes, do you think that they would judge her afterwards?
I feel like a lot of them will say, "Oh, I don't care, I don't mind," because they're watching. But as soon as if the girl if you have a conversation, and the girl say, "I like to watch porn, and the thing that I watch is big black whatever,"
Right.
then they're gonna be a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because straight away, in your mind, what do you think?
You're comparing to yourself.
You're comparing as well, but you say that's what she wants.
Right. It's
And
not
I'm not
different
like that.
from women. The women do
And
the
I'm not
same
like
thing,
that.
but
Yeah,
men,
yeah.
right? And men would be like, "Well, no, it's just a
It's
porn.
just a porn.
You see, it's double standard."
But the man will take it more because that's not how he view a woman. That's not how a woman
Exactly.
should behave.
Right.
But for him, it's normal for him to watch porn.
Yeah.
You know. But it's why as well. It's the same way when before we were saying that man is cheating more than woman.
Yeah.
It's just the difference between the man and the woman is not like I don't know who can quantify this. No one can. To start to have
I mean,
debate.
yeah.
But this is the difference. Women are smarter than men. So when they cheat, in generally, you don't even know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
They're just sneakier.
While men always make a mistake.
Yeah, they're
And the
just
women are
reckless.
faster.
Yeah.
The radar of the women are sharper. That's why.
Yeah, it's sharper because women expect a man to cheat. Because they're constantly, again, being conditioned that that's normal.
Yeah, but not just only for that.
Right.
It's also because when a man cheat, he gonna make mistake. There is something who's gonna change. He gonna go some in some places that he never go. He gonna change something on his phone that he never change.
Yeah,
There is
yeah,
something
yeah.
that he gonna do that the woman will directly, because women learn, and I think it's out there because of their education. They've been taught how to listen
Yes.
a man,
Yes.
how to see the evolution of a man, have to watch their man. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? While the man doesn't even realize when a woman change
Right.
some things on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why as well those details make
Well,
the woman way more attentive on different changes in the relationship.
it's true because women are taught to read the unspoken.
Exactly.
And they're taught that so they can cater to the man, right? To make sure that they do what he likes
So
in
and,
all different ways. But then she's also going to
so
notice when you're acting different.
and consciously she
Yeah.
have these skills
Right.
by the education and by this. Yeah, I don't know if it's miseducation, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's so interesting because so research shows that women are actually more sexually satisfied with men who don't watch porn or don't watch a lot of porn.
That's totally logic.
It makes so much
Makes so
sense.
much sense. You don't watch porn, then you are focused on the real things
When you focus on humans.
because your brain is not compromised
Right.
by those fake fucking image and video and situation and
Right.
scenarios and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Your mind, you will directly do what you know. So from your experiences,
Yeah.
from what you hear, from what a woman maybe said to you before or
Yeah.
now, and then you're gonna do it or not do it again because they tell you, because you seen, because you realize, because you feel. So you listen your body, the body of the woman, But it's very rare for a man
Not well.
it's very rare.
Right. I mean,
It's very rare. I don't even know if it's possible only if you're not in the Western world, and that's what I said.
well, if you don't have access,
If you don't
have access
if you're not in
that
the
much, then
yeah.
then you have no choice but to be disciplined and not watching it.
Exactly. And last time we were talking about some things, and I give you this example. We in this Western world sexualized everything. So
Yeah.
when you go to the beach and you see tongue, ass,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
or whatever, then you're watching and
Yeah.
you're watching and you see that and you're like, oof.
Yeah,
Same
you
for a
can be
woman,
aroused. Yeah.
or same for a woman who watch abs
Right.
and short and whatever, part of the body. In some places, they don't have the women have their
Breasts.
breast out,
Yeah.
but no one care about it, and they have child, they have family, they have a society. They are living in the nature, yes, but it's not sexualized. The woman is not objectified like here, or even the
Yeah.
men as well when they are naked. They don't judge if you are a good man or if you are beautiful, or that is not a criteria. While here, their first criteria will be that if you have a big dick, if you have big boobs, big ass, then you are something sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While there, as they don't sexualize the body, they will have other criteria.
I mean, breasts are not in those communities. Breasts are not sexualized because they're
At all.
feeding
They are
for the children, but hips have always been
hips.
something that men
But
are
it's-
attracted to
but for what?
because of childbearing.
It's still the same.
Because the man views it as a woman who's going to be able to give him
give
strong children.
Strong
Yeah.
children. So still not sexualized.
Right, but
Procreation.
right, but
Divine.
it's kind of right.
Yeah.
It's still subconsciously.
It's instinctive, I think.
Yeah, the men will be drawn to that
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
they're thinking their subconscious is about survival of the species.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same way we have some bird, the girl gonna choose the one who make the better nest.
Yeah.
They're
Like
gonna
it's
expect. They're
right.
gonna see. They're gonna go. They're gonna expect, and they're gonna choose him.
Right.
You know.
I mean, it's not only in those communities that those things aren't sexualized. There's places like I told you, like back home in the Balkans, where it was very normal for women not to wear tops at the beach,
Yeah.
and it's actually not objectified or sexualized. It's very, very normal. Nobody's staring at your breasts.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Even back home, I know children like 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds, women, like little girls who only wear bottoms. They don't wear tops.
Yeah.
And no one is being perverted.
Yeah.
No one is sexualizing those children.
Yeah.
Here, sadly, you have to cover your children because you don't know what kind of people are out there, you know? And so it is very different. But as we're on this topic of pornography, what about the new age porn? You know, we talked about how, you know, in relationships, men watch porn. In some ways, it's normalized. Sometimes women are like, okay, it's just normal. The man is watching porn. There's no man that doesn't.
Yep.
It's not accessible, so whatever. But, like, what about OnlyFans?
The new age of porn.
Right.
OnlyFans make you think that you're watching and you're paying a random girl and to see her sexual life. That's what it is. That's what it is. At first.
But is it random? Because,
Not
like,
anymore.
OnlyFans girls is kind of like the new age webcams, you know, where the man feels like they actually have a chance. They're actually speaking to a real person.
Yes.
Like, I feel like that's more of a death to a relationship than any porn video that's
Yeah.
not tangible.
Yeah, and that was crazy for me to see that they are making money with the subscription month by month, but the money apparently is in the messages, and that's crazy because the woman doesn't even answer those messages.
Yeah, well, apparently there's like whole
For the
call
woman.
centers
Yeah.
that can like respond based on, you know, based on what the man wants to hear. And that's my thing. It's like if you're in a relationship and you're paying for DMs of someone on OnlyFans, like that's cheating.
Yeah, a lot of men gonna talk bad about OnlyFans while they are going on OnlyFans. It's the same way a lot of men gonna talk bad about porn while they are watching porn. They're not
Listen.
gonna assume. They're not gonna assume.
OnlyFans, I'll tell you this because I was, I used to work in finance and I looked after anti-money laundering. And OnlyFans is a great tool for that type of behavior, like anti-money laundering tactics. And it's crazy because you can see the amount of money men are funneling into OnlyFans. There are regular Joes
Yeah.
spending tens of thousands of dollars on very specific girls.
Oh yeah.
Like, it'll
Yeah.
be like one girl.
How disturbing it was when we hear that in Australia, the girl who said that she found out that her stepdad was one of the subscribers
That's actually absolutely disgusting.
of her subscriber.
I can't.
You know?
I mean, I don't want to be judgmental based on people's things, but this is the type of behavior, unnatural behavior that these platforms incite. And that's the danger of pornography, of this type of content.
Yeah, because it start to be normalized.
Right.
So you're gonna have your Instagram, you're gonna post just your picture, and you're gonna say, "Go watch my OnlyFans." So
right. If you want to see more, literally.
yeah, but the thing is, like, there is no. That means people next to you can find you in the same city or in the same, I don't know where you're living, and then
Right.
watch you. So you create voyeurism in those platforms.
Yeah.
This is the addiction of this.
Yeah.
To see girl who can be next to you and do what they are doing.
There
is a demand.
Whole nother level of
The demand is huge,
Right.
huge, and we had number on this They make $1 billion. They make more in 2023.
Yeah.
They make more money
Than a whole basketball
than the whole
team.
basketball NBA.
Yeah. I think it was like $5.3
$5.2
billion.
billion.
Yeah. They made, yeah. Yeah,
Imagine.
the top content creators.
And be careful. It's not the woman yeah. There is women who make the money, but it's like it's not the percentage of people who make money. It's not that big. It's like 10% you have 10% on Instagram who make the whole money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's always like that.
It's always like that.
But that make you think that if you create your account, girls, you can make so much money. So you have young girls who want money and who said, I have sex in life for free. I just can have sex, film myself, and on top
Right.
of it,
Get
make
paid.
money.
Yeah.
So then people are gonna say, "Oh, but those girls, look at what they are doing." But it's about the demand. If there is no demand, there is no girl who's gonna think about that
That's
as well.
exactly right. Because
You
you're
know?
not just, yeah. We're over here judging the content creators all
Yes.
the time.
Yeah.
But nobody's judging all the people who are subscribed, who are paying for these DMs, paying for these messages, constantly addicted to these apps.
Yeah.
We're not judging them. We're not talking about them. And there's way more of them than there is of the content creators, you
Yes.
know?
And the same way when you are watching porn, we didn't touch about it, but when you're watching porn, you're watching human trafficking,
You are,
you're
yes.
watching rape,
Absolutely.
because you don't know what's happened after the scene. You don't know what's happened before the scene.
There's no guarantee
No
that there
guaranteed.
is consent in
Exactly.
these porn videos.
Exactly.
There's no guarantee that these women haven't been trafficked.
Yes.
There is no guarantee. And when you start to think about that, people will say, "Oh, you're ruining my fantasy." Yeah, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Yes.
Because you think these women who are making the videos are getting paid? No, it's the corporations.
Yes. Yes. And even not just about that, but the fact that we don't even know. Sometimes the girl say, "I don't want to do that," and
Right.
she have to do it. And after she go, and she became a drug addict because that's her life now, and we are the one who's watching the video, and we are the one who not forced her as well, but as there is a demand, because we are a part of the demand, then they're gonna create more video, then more girl gonna be inside this thing. And we didn't talk about it, but after after your porn career, you end up in the prostitute on the street or whatever, or
Yeah, and
escort.
yeah.
And
Well, yeah, they say that, pornography is just filmed prostitution.
yeah,
And,
yes,
I think it's interesting because I've watched a lot of podcasts and videos when we researched,
yeah,
and they were saying, actually, you told me that. I didn't even know that, that apparently they say prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the world.
not in the world.
And
But
I looked it up. I actually looked it up, and it says that, the Oxford Journal says that they found traces of it in ancient civilizations, like back in Mesopotamia or whatnot.
Well, I think it's more in the Western world.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, there is,
Not in the world, in Europe.
regardless of where it is, there is a reason for that.
Yeah, because the life wasn't divine. Because the life wasn't divine. Because the woman was already oppressed in all those era. Or they try to tell us that they are the one who create the civilization, while they are not.
Well,
They
the
are
thing
not.
is, if even back then, if it was a choice of employment, it wasn't a choice. It was just women again trying to take control of their life.
And it wasn't a choice of employment, like you said, because it was just a situation. The
Right.
same way now, the life is so expensive. Then when you don't have money, if you can't afford to have a house, then you live with someone, because
Yeah.
you don't have, so you split the bill.
Right.
So it's the same way. If you
Yeah.
are always oppressed, raped, everything, even by your own child, who's became a man and after became another rapist, at this period.
It's really creepy.
Yeah, we talk real. Then you have to evolve. So what you do? You take money from that.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's definitely an evolution of the brain. It's a survival. It's a survival tool. And look, it is an ugly truth
Yes.
about prostitution, pornography, whatever. They're both connected.
Yes.
These people who tell you it's a great glamorous life, they make lots of money, they don't.
Yeah.
They're not happy. The money isn't worth it. Most of the women don't live until they're 50. They're actually either die due to overdoses, they get killed by their pimps, or their boyfriends because of jealousy, or they catch STDs. And this is statistically speaking.
Yeah.
So it's not glamorous. It's not lovely.
Yeah.
And they're fake enjoying it just like they are in the video. It's not real.
Oh yeah.
So before we finish up on this subject and we get into porn addiction, I have one more question for you from a man's perspective. Sadia Khan says, she always says this, that men fall in love through sex. Is that true?
I don't think it's just only sex.
Okay.
Some men will say, we have great sex, so she's gonna be my wife, you know. But I don't think, even unconsciously, I don't think it's just sex. There is things who come with, because you can have two different women at the same time, for example, that you're saying, and the sex is great with both of them. So how will you choose?
See, I heard that men fall in love through their stomachs. I don't know about this sex thing.
With their stomach. You see. So that's the thing. You have, for example, you have great sex.
Yeah.
After she probably do some things that you like.
Okay.
She take care of you a certain way.
That's
the
what
other
it
one
is.
does not.
Yeah.
And it's before, during, and after.
Right.
You know, so we say sex.
Yeah.
It's for the one who don't know how to explain what they like for me. And they're going to tell you, oh, we got great sex and that's okay. And she became my girlfriend. But you have sometimes two different women. You have great sex, but you're still going to choose this one. Why? Because there's many different things. The feeling you have when you see her, the way maybe your skin, the connection you have with her skin is different. But if you're not aware enough about those different feelings, if you don't know how to recognize them, you're just going to say sex. You know what I mean?
I think that, yeah. Sadia Khan likes to say things very matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think you actually touched on exactly what it is, because this is what I see. I think men fall in love with the person that takes care of them.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
even sexually, if you take care of them sexually,
Yes.
if you take care of their needs visually,
Yeah.
that's what they fall in love with.
Yes.
And men are very visual, so they are going to see you first. They are going to go from that attraction point of view first.
Yes. Yes.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like they fall in love with being taken care of.
The only difference is the level of nurture.
Yeah.
Some of them need it whole.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they need to like babies.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And some not.
Yes.
Some just want as well, like, to give you as well, and to see that you understand that they give you, then you give back. So there is many different
Of course.
men and different.
There's levels to it,
levels,
but
yeah?
I think that
But it's
the
not just
factor
sex.
of being taken care is she's saying sex, I think, because sex sells, but
Yeah.
but really the root of why men fall in love is that feeling of being taken care of.
Of course.
And like you said, whatever their preference is, whether it's sex that they prioritize first, whether it's visual stimulation that they prioritize,
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever it is,
they
whatever
desire.
woman creates ease, peace, and makes him feel like he's being taken care of, that's what they fall in love with.
Yeah.
That's-
And a lot of them don't even know that.
100%.
So they're gonna say, she was good in bed, so
and that's it.
and that's it. I take
She
care.
took care of me.
She take care of me. But it's way more than this.
Right.
They feel it, but they don't know how to express it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, let's move on to how porn addiction impacts the brain. Because very different to watch porn and, be conditioned in a certain way, and, obviously it changes your perceptions and things around women and relationships. But then porn addiction is like another level of, I guess, challenge.
It's a challenge because we get addicted to some things that make us ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look the circle. It's we get addicted to something that make us ashamed.
Right.
So as you are ashamed, we become even more addicted.
Yes.
Because we are ashamed, and because when you are ashamed, you need reassurance and you need things. You are insecurity. It creates things behind it. Then after you go back to watch it because you are addicted to this and to this. Because at the same time, when you watch it I don't know how many minutes or second or minute, but you have this dopamine and oxytocin and whatever who's there, and it's the same way when you have a shoot of maybe other drugs, you have this small moment where you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And straight away, the thing go down. After you feel bad, ashamed, stupid. But the next day you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Because you want this. You remember, your brain remember this moment, this small second, minute that you had, So that's why it works as a drug. It was the same way as a drug for me. The same way as other drugs.
Well, scientifically, it absolutely does. It actually, porn addiction specifically works the same as a drug.
Yeah.
Scientifically, biologically, in your head, porn addiction creates dopamine surges.
But there is something we also forget because we are consumer. But the people who create those type of porn, drugs, or whatever as well, ads, social media, whatever, they analyze the brain and they create produce.
Well, marketing strategies include a lot of psychology research. Yeah, absolutely.
And they create those produce based on researches.
Yeah.
That's why we don't know. Because we are just consumer and we don't go to watch behind what we are seeing.
Yeah.
How they build it. Why? We don't ask. When you are consumer, 100% consumer, you don't ask this question. You just take it.
Yeah, because everything is surface level. And even, you watching TV, you're not sitting here thinking about how you're being influenced. You're probably thinking about, oh, look, I've watched this commercial 10 times and they think they can influence me, but they can't. And that's actually not true. They might even be giving you a hidden message that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Like how many ads is there where like a guy is on the beach and I don't know, doing something random, but then the ad is about a cologne.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? You didn't even realize it was about a cologne.
Yes.
Until, you know what I mean? And so it's the same type of situation. It's like you don't actually know that you're getting addicted.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the same way you take a cigarette puff, the same way that you have alcohol, you consume porn, gives you that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And what happens is the more you get these dopamine overloads, the more tolerance you have.
Yeah.
And then the more tolerance you have, the more you want to do it. And the more you crave it, the more you binge watch the porn.
Yeah.
The more you binge watch porn, the more your prefrontal cortex changes. You have a physical change in your brain that no longer lights up from sexual activity. And it only lights up when you watch porn.
Yeah.
And so you can visibly see that change in brain scans. Yeah. It's not a situation where you're just addicted. It's ingrained in your brain at that point. So that is what's really scary about porn addiction.
Yeah. The less physical interaction you have with someone or your partner. As a result, a lot of porn addicts suffer from erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
And from the young age, because when we talk about erectile dysfunction, we think about 60 years old, 70 years old, not 70, but 60, 50, 40, you know. No, we talk about as well 20, 25 years old.
Yes.
People who watch porn so much
Yes.
that they don't have any desire. I don't know if it's even desire, but like you said, it's something in your brain who's not anymore working. Because when you are next to a woman, you don't have this feeling, you don't have this passion anymore because you're watching so much porn. Everything's different.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that is arousing you is the porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because of the change in your brain. And it's absolutely insane because you bring up a great point. These 20-year-olds are suffering from erectile dysfunction, but they've been watching porn for 8 years.
8 years.
And
yeah.
most porn addicts are actually, prepubescent.
Yeah.
They've started or they've discovered porn at a very young age. Because when you watch porn when you're a little bit older, you have some level of understanding of what it is. But when you don't, the addiction becomes very real, especially as your brain is forming, as your prefrontal cortex is forming.
Yeah. So imagine this. I was just thinking about that. Imagine that you watch porn so much, you have erectile dysfunction, and then when you need to have sex with a woman, and you have problem, then you know how frustrated it is. You know how insecure it became for a man.
Yeah.
You know? So then your life, you start to have mental issue.
Yeah.
Then, as we said as well, the more meaningless your life is, the more addict you are to other things.
That's right.
So then, you're going to go back to the porn even more and continue.
Yeah.
And to other drugs as well.
Of course.
On top of it.
Of course.
So the cycle is crazy for the young generation as well.
It's so dangerous.
It's crazy.
There are so many vices that these young people can use to distract themselves from actually having a purpose.
And you can't even talk about it.
Because
you can't talk about it.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing because everything you watch, movies, Netflix, show TV, clip videos, about music, whatever, it's about your masculinity over the woman, being muscly, but on top of it, big dick, blah, blah, you know, alpha male,
and
etc.
that's the other thing. It's not just the big penis.
Yeah,
what the other part is? Constant arousal.
Yeah.
So if you can't perform, and if you can't perform back to back, for example, even if you can't perform at all, but if you can't perform back to back as well, it's actually a thing.
Yeah. They create so many ways to be insecure. So many ways for you to feel the lowest human ever. The lowest man ever.
Well, not having a purpose, and we touched on that when we did the mental health podcast, which you can watch if you just click up there. But when we did that mental health podcast on men, we did see that lack of purpose was the biggest driver of mental health problems and of, self-medicating, whether that's pornography or gaming or drugs or alcohol or whatever it might be, whatever your choice of drug is, it doesn't make you feel any better. Well, let's talk about the impacts of porn addiction in an actual relationship, though, because it is slightly different than just watching porn while you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you're an addict, it's very hard.
It's hard. I mean, you don't even. I feel like it's making your your partner less attractive, because for sure you don't looking to watch a girl who look like your partner physically or even close, or so you're looking,
Yeah.
generally you're looking totally different type
Yeah.
of woman or man, if you are, because there is women as well who are addicted to porn as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But you're watching something totally different, so then your partner became less attractive. Your It's the same. Your perception of sex is totally different of what good sex should be.
Yes.
It's totally different. And then as well, as I feel like when you are addict, you're gonna you're gonna ask your partner to do different things, like let's introduce another man. Let's introduce
I didn't
other
think about
things.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They never talk about that when we talk about polyamorous and things like that, but it's different. But they never talk about that. Like porn make us feel that five men on a woman, it's normal. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I don't know about normal, but yeah,
not normal,
definitely.
but it can.
Yeah, it's something that's arousing.
We are all there, like, oh, she can run through. I see that on social media and things. But how many men are looking porn about that
Right, right, right,
and
right.
get aroused by that?
Right.
A lot.
Of course, yeah. It's such a double standard
Exactly.
because if you're part of the man crew, then you did something good. But the woman who's
Yeah.
on the receiving end is obviously has no worth. So
Exactly. We all watch this type of thing. We all. And I say we.
okay,
I mean, when we were younger, yeah, we were,
yeah.
we were all addict, and people are still, We
Yeah.
talk real.
No, it's true. It's true. And I think, look, when you're addicted to porn, you also really struggle to use your imagination. It's kind of like with everything, right? You struggle to use your imagination. You struggle to fantasize about human things. You struggle to feel, well, not struggle, you don't
You
feel
don't.
satisfied. You never feel satisfied unless you've watched porn.
Yeah.
You start to say things to your partner like, we need to watch porn while we're having sex. And that can really cause a really big disconnect. Like, it might be all cool, the first couple of times, but by the end of it, that woman is going to feel very insecure, just like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's going to feel like she's not good enough. And she's going to feel like she's never going to be able to live up to these people on the videos who, obviously have a very different look to her.
So you said as well, when you said that the man doesn't even know how to do other things than what he's seen on social on the porn videos, on the videos, then I feel like you're not even aware at one point that you can do other things.
Right.
That's the thing. Imagine this. You're not even aware that because you touch by a certain way,
Right.
you're a woman that you are with maybe since 10 years.
Right.
You don't even know that if you touch her on the back, she really like it. Or,
Right.
you don't even know that there is so many things that you can do that you're not even aware of.
Yeah.
How crazy it is that we are living with someone because we are watching porn and all those images and videos and scenarios that we have in our mind are blinding us from different strategies that you could do would be even better for you as well.
Yeah.
In terms of feeling, sensation, that you will have with your partner while you're having sex or not, by the way.
You have a lack of
You will-
creativity.
Yes.
And you just literally gonna have a partner that's constantly
That's
not
constantly-
pleased.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And so that's the other thing.
Yeah.
So that's just going to feed the beast even more because you're not pleased. She's not pleased. And she's going to resent you.
Yeah.
If you're addicted, she's going to find out eventually.
Yeah.
If you're asking for more and more kinky things, to bring into the relationship,
Yeah.
there's only so much someone can take. Like, I know, a lot of women will try.
Yeah.
Will just for the sake of saving the relationship. But it also just, honestly, porn addiction will also just lead into even depression. And so
Anxiety, yeah.
It's not really just the physical aspect. It's also going to be the emotional aspect of the relationship. It's you if you're feeling depressed and your only way of coping is pornography,
Yeah.
there's not much room left for anything else.
Yeah. That's why as well people cheat as well.
Right.
That's why people cheat as well. Because it's easy to go to see an escort. It's easy to go to do a massage like you see in the video
Yeah.
with happy ending. It's easy to find a girl who's also answer your criteria
Yeah.
that you're looking, that you're craving for, because some of them, because in generally we said that it's digital, but we still, I think, when you're addict, you still want, you're dreaming about this in real life. If you can't, you know what I mean.
You're right. You're right. Now that you say that is very interesting because pornography has also become quite scenario and circumstance driven, like based on the different platforms,
Yes.
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 And you start to incorporate those scenarios in your daily life, like when you're at work, even when you're
Yeah.
getting a massage, or when you're at the grocery store, or,
At the gym.
at the gym. Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
gym.
So it's like, it's very constant because all of those movies, they start with a storyline in your head,
Yeah.
and they really inspire you to look for those opportunities in real life
Yeah.
that you never really are able to get, but
Not
you're
in general, but
constantly,
you're looking
you're
for.
constantly looking for it and
Yeah.
getting aroused by it
And if it's happened,
distracted.
yeah. And if it's happened, you agree to risk it all.
Right.
All your marriage, your child, your
Yep.
whatever you have in relationship, in terms of relationship, you're willing to risk everything.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I think a lot of podcasts talk about how, pornography is, not the devil. It's not all bad. And I think you and I kind of delved into some of the really serious things about pornography. My personal view on it is, how can you view it as anything other than something bad or something negative to your mental state, to your relationship, to the relationships around you, to your children's well-being? If it's something that is so addictive, promoting such aggression and violence between the genders, there isn't, in my opinion, a place for it to be just okay. Okay? And so, yeah, look, people will say, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that serious. That's a cop-out. It is that deep and it is that serious.
I mean, people who say that as well are watching as well.
Yeah, of course.
And even if you're it's a journey, for boy, and even women as well. But for this generation that we are now, we also watch porn when we were young.
Yeah.
It's a journey to stop to watch
Yeah,
porn,
of course.
And still, even for me,
Yeah.
I don't care. It's a journey for me to. I don't say that I was an addict,
Yeah.
But and I'm in a relationship, so I'm not addict. But the work that I had to do to stop was crazy. And I
Yeah.
realized that, damn, it is crazy to stop this shit when I didn't even care about it,
Right.
So that's why I'm like, on top of it, you have the fact that when you go into it, you can't stop. For most of men, I don't know, but a lot of my friends, they don't even
No, well, you wouldn't even consider
they're not even
stopping.
considering the stopping, because for them it's a part of their life.
But that's what I mean. I'm just going to throw this in there. There was a study that was being done, and the researchers could not find a man who doesn't watch porn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Of
so they
course.
didn't have a control group.
So just to answer your question, when you said that in podcast, you hear that they say, oh, but it's not that bad.
Right.
And there is not it's not that bad, but there is some good.
It's just normalized.
It's
It's
normalized.
normalized.
It's
Yeah.
because as well they are a part of the consumer.
Right. Right.
So they won't say that, oh, if you're watching you're a creep, because that means that you are a creep too. but that's why they're gonna have to find something, you know.
It's look, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you watch it, and I'm
No.
not saying you're a creep if you watch it. I'm just saying there's nothing good that comes out of it.
There's nothing good. And before to take the decision and to even be aware of stopping, quitting, you need to understand what are you contributing to when you're watching porn.
Yeah.
Rape, human trafficking,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, domestic
all
violence, sexual violence,
sexual violence.
child trafficking, all of that.
When you start to hear those things,
Yes.
I don't say that you just stop
Yeah.
just the day after and you never watch it from the rest of your life because it's an addiction. But if you are a good human, I would say, you and a conscience, you're gonna have something in your head gonna say that, oh, am I contributing to that?
Well, I mean,
You have to ask yourself.
I don't know how you can get aroused when that pops up into your head. You
That's
know what
what
I'm saying?
that's because I wasn't aware of that before.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't aware of that. So you could tell me porn, and I would be like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it was
porn.
a problem. Yeah.
It's just porn. It's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
video. I mean, people are getting paid, and that's it. You know. But after when I hear about that and I make research and I watch it, and I'm like, shit, I'm a part of this shit.
Right.
You know.
I mean, even Mia Khalifa said she only made 12 videos.
Yeah.
Was the most famous person at one time, a porn star, and she made 12,000 USDs apparently on those particular sex videos. She was 21.
Yeah.
She was coerced.
Yeah.
She was promised some modeling, which escalated into pornography.
It's a lot of porn star
Absolutely.
stuff like that.
And look, she was disowned by her family. She's regretful. Look, she's living her best life. She has,
Oh, I don't know.
well, as
It
in
looks
like,
it looks like.
as in like she has millions of followers on Instagram. Like now that there's social media, you can absolutely capitalize in a different way.
Yeah, but mentally.
But not everybody can do that. She's really the exception.
Of
She's
course.
not the rule.
course.
It's not what happens.
Of course.
Usually these women are discarded and disgraced.
If they show us of the dark side of the different subject that we are talking
Yeah.
about, we will stop to watch things. We will stop to be addicted because the dark part and the dark side is so deep
That's
and
what I-
so
yeah.
disgusting that when they will show you just 10 seconds of what's happened behind, you're gonna stop. So they'll never talk about it. They're gonna talk about those girls who make millions after,
Yeah.
or those girls who in social media, by the way, look like she's good, but
Yeah.
mentally, she's ruined. At 21 years old, when you do what she was doing, your life will never be normal as well. You're gonna have different. You lost yourself.
Absolutely. You can see she's still lost.
She's still lost.
You
Yeah,
can see it. She's trying, but she's
Yeah.
still very lost. She didn't make good
Oh, yeah.
decisions, she said, when she was 21.
Yeah.
But these type of decisions,
You have this car. Yeah.
absolutely lifetime
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah. For sure.
And so no one's ever going to look at her like anything other than that.
Yeah.
She's no Kim Kardashian.
I mean, Kim Kardashian is the same for me. So
But nobody talks about her sex tape.
yeah, because she's rich as fuck.
And she's rich as fuck because of that.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It's different. It's still different.
It's different because we just have one video of her.
Right.
And it was with a man who's supposed to be her boyfriend.
Right.
So the thing is different. While this girl
And
did
apparently she was terrible in the video, so that also doesn't. Yeah. Whereas I think Mia Khalifa did a good job from what I hear.
apparently.
No, but seriously, on a serious note though, like when we read about people who do quit porn,
Yeah.
it does reverse the effects in your brain slowly. You do start to get dopamine hits from human interaction.
Yes.
So it does help. And I'm not saying that you know, it's not natural to be aroused, and some people have more of a sexual drive than others, and masturbation is completely normal. But you don't need a freaking tool for everything. You don't need a fake vagina or a sex toy or videos of gangbangs to, you know, release yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did people do it? You know, how did people do it? Like, that's why we have a brain and an imagination.
Yeah, but the brain of the people who are using those toys is already consuming so much of those different images and scenarios that I told you.
Because it's
you need to go
reliant
up
on that
and
now.
up and up in terms of toys, in terms of new gadget and everything to have this excitement. If you take a dildo like that,
Okay.
after you need a dildo like that, and after you need a dildo like that, you know, it's the same way. It's the same way.
No, I mean, that's a whole different topic, but it's true. You can't be sexually satisfied after you use toys. Without toys, it's not the same.
Yeah, you can use it during 2 years, and after you're like, oh, I need another one, and another one, and another one, and then you forget that you have your man just there, and your man now. If when your man do that, you don't still use a stimulator,
vibrator,
you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything, and you need these vibrators. That means when you are somewhere and your man want to have a sexual interaction with you, then you're like, oh, wait. Where's my
Right.
you know?
Right.
And then that's it. So it's the same. Our brain will be shaped by what we are watching, but also by the activity that we are doing the most.
Well, that's
As
exactly right. And the activity that's producing the most dopamine. So it's a vicious cycle. Is very, very difficult to break it, even if it's not a full-on addiction. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, it's very even similar to ChatGPT. Once you start using it, you can't even think of a sentence. You can't even write a paragraph without getting it to do it for you or to help you. And it's like, once you know, even calculators, like I'm constantly second guessing my simple math and checking on the calculator because I'm reliant on something else. And that's the other part of it. You are reliant on something else to give you the answer.
That's why I said, and I had discussion with one of my friends about that, another thing, but they talk about evolution. They talk about new technology here. But when they see people live a certain simple life in a village, they call it underdeveloped.
Yeah.
But go do mathematics with this human. Go in the nature, do something. Go even do a construction of some things. You won't be able to, because you use tools for everything. You don't do nothings anymore from your brain. Nothing's come out of your brain. You need to have some technology between your realization and you. You have the technology. It's not coming from you anymore straight away.
Right.
You know? So it's the same with porn, gadget, and everything.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who could benefit. Tune into our next episode. You will not want to miss it.
And until next time, fam, take care and nurture your relationships.
Relate right.